Hey guys, I'm Jennifer. Welcome back to the channel. If you are new around here, I have been a licensed esthetician and a makeup artist for over 20 years. I'm also the author of an online skincare program called Nude Skin. Nude Skin is the only skincare program you will ever need. It tells you everything you need to know about how to take care of your skin, how to take care of every skin condition you may be experiencing without having to resort to crazy involved skincare routines and expensive products. If you're interested, check out the description below this video. So today's episode is all about a really subtle, pretty kind of bronzy, slightly sunburnt makeup look. So if you like my makeup today, this is a tutorial about how to get this look. That really lovely, alive pink tone that your skin can take on if you've been out in the sun all day long. But obviously, being out in the sun all day long, getting a lot of prolonged sun exposure on our face to the point where we're getting a little bit of a pink sunburn is not ideal. But this look recreates that in just like a fun way, a glowy way. I'm going to walk you through the whole entire routine with the products that I use. And you don't even have to use the products that I'm specifically using. I'm going to describe what I'm using. So if you have something similar at home, or if you want to pick up something that's similar, I give you options, different things like that. So let's get started. Okay, so let's get on with the tutorial. I am here in my bathroom, welcome, and I'm going to show you how I did that really soft, pretty glowy, bronzy, slightly sunburnt look. I'm going to try to keep this as simple as I can for you guys, show you just the stuff that I use every day to just do my makeup and especially just show you that look. I don't want you to feel, again, like you have to go out and buy a whole bunch of stuff. Use similar products to what I'm doing, use similar shades to what I'm doing. I'll give you lots of different ideas and things to go off of. But to start with, I just want to tell you that I do have two things already complete. I have a little bit of eyebrow makeup, and then I also have some little false eyelashes. And I just wanted to show you guys these because I am really in love with them. They're from Kiss, and they're called the New Natural. They're these individual wispy lashes, and I've applied about 5 to each of my eyes. I don't know if you guys have seen those in the drugstore, but I use a little bit of a bonding glue to make them stay for about 3-4 days max, and then I just remove them with an oil-based eye makeup remover. And it's really soft and pretty, and I don't have to worry about mascara every day. I don't do these all the time, but they're nice, especially when I'm filming tutorials or, I'm going someplace, dinner, church, whatever. But again, if you don't want to mess with those, just, a really soft, pretty mascara that you love that gives you a nice, voluminous, wispy look, that'll be totally fine. Now, what I did for my eyebrows is I'm doing the Revlon Color Stay Brow Pencil. This color is in blonde, and I'm sure you've noticed that I'm a brunette with kind of like blonde highlights. I found that as I get older, if I'm doing brunette or dark brown eyebrow pencils or eyebrow products, they tend to look really harsh. So especially as we age, you can go lighter on the eyebrow pencils and still get pretty definition without having it look too harsh. So that's what I've done there, the lashes and the brows. So let's move on to skin. So the first thing you want to make sure if you want a really pretty, simple, glowy skin makeup look to be able to see your skin, not the makeup, is you want to have a really good skincare prep underneath your foundation. Now, the cheap products that I used this one is called the True Blend Skin Enhancer Primer by CoverGirl. It's a water-based makeup primer, and I really love it because it's like a very light, let me show you, it's like a light serum type gel texture, and it's got skincare and hydrating ingredients like glycerin in it to actually act as skincare and to give your makeup a little bit more of a grip. So I don't really like or recommend most makeup primers, especially if they're silicone based, because I just feel like they're an extra step that doesn't really do much. Most of the foundations sold out on the market today, like over 90% of them, are silicone based anyway. So they're made to grip and adhere to the skin. And I find that a silicone based makeup primer, just more often than not, ends up adding extra weight to the skin. And the skin is just suffocated and feels like thick and heavy and tacky. And a lot of women don't like that. But I do like a water-based primer, and especially because it can double skincare. So that's what I really like about it. So I did that as my skincare base layer. And then on top, I put one of the sunscreens that I'm liking and testing and playing around with from Naked Sundays. This is their Mineral SPF. It's 50. It's called the Collagen Glow. And as you can see, it's on my face right now. I've had it on for about 25 minutes, so it's been marinating for a while. But as you can see, I'm super glowy. I personally like this, even being a combination to oily skin type, and you'll find out why. I really find that the more juicy and hydrated your skincare is underneath your makeup, especially after 40, 45, 50, your makeup doesn't look as dry and patchy, and you tend to look a lot better, especially as the day wears on. But this is what I've got underneath. So whatever you have, just make sure that you are really hydrating your skin and that you are protecting from the sun's rays, especially in the summer. I'm 365 for sunscreen. I'm all about shouting from the rooftops, SPF every day. Okay, so I digress. So that is the skincare. Okay, so on to the foundation, the soft, glowy skin look. The idea behind this look is you want to see your skin as much as possible. This isn't about full coverage. This isn't about covering every single inch of your face, every single spot, line, discoloration. And that's not what this is about. If you want foundation that gives you 100% full crazy coverage, you're not really going to be able to see your skin, which kind of negates the idea of this glowy makeup look. So what I'm doing and what I'm using today on my skin is the Era Everyday Airbrush Foundation. This is airbrush makeup, but it's in a can. So it's like airbrush without the machine. I've done makeup for years. I have a professional airbrush machine that I've used on clients, brides, what have you. I know a lot of women like the airbrush look. They just don't have the machine. They don't want to mess with the machine. And I think that some of these formulas, especially in a can, they're actually the next best thing. They're super nice. I'm going to show you how I use it. But before I do that, if you do not have a foundation like this, but you still want that soft, glowy makeup look, I would wholeheartedly recommend these foundations from the drugstore, the L'Oreal True Match Foundation. These were recently reformulated last year, super blendable foundation, and they are extremely lightweight. They are very viscous. It's like a really thin kind of serum-y texture, which is really nice. And there's a lot of pigment in there, so you can get a nice light to medium coverage without feeling like you're layering on the makeup, which is really nice. So if you're looking for like a soft, glowy, light to medium coverage that doesn't feel heavy or look cakey on the skin, check out the True Match from L'Oreal. But what I'm doing for this is I'm going to shake this Era foundation in a can. And what I'm going to do is I have my makeup palette here, and I'm just going to spray a little bit of the makeup on the palette. There you go. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a soft, fluffy brush, and I'm going to start applying to the skin. And remember, you want to start from the middle, blending out. You hear it all the time, but there's a reason for that. Because most of the discoloration, most of what we're trying to cover is in the middle of our face. And the reason I really like these airbrush makeup in a can type of products is it's so lightweight. Like it actually feels like absolutely nothing on the skin, but you're getting coverage. So what you're getting is a lot of pigment without the weight. So I do a very light layer all over the face, okay? Blend out along the chin and jawline, even take a little bit over the ears, because a lot of us have pink ears and like a beige face. And you want everything to match. And look how much I still have left on that palette. Almost half, okay? So then what I do is I just go back. If there's any discoloration, I've got some sunspots here. I just stipple over that area. Take it down to the neck a little bit because you want to blend. And that's basically it, you guys. I don't do a lot of foundation. I don't. Now, what I'll do with what's left on this palette is I'll take a little bit on my finger and I'll go underneath my eye, starting in the inner corner here, and just pat to take care of a little bit of that under eye darkness. I'm all about using the least amount of coverage that you can get away with that you feel comfortable with. I guess what I'm trying to say is go with the lightest formula that you can use that gives you the type of coverage you want. So if that's a tinted moisturizer, you don't need a foundation if you don't want it. If that's a lightweight, almost water-like texture, airbrush in a can makeup that has a ton of pigment but not a lot of weight and you can get the look you're going for, great. What's really nice about these foundations as well is they are pretty transfer resistant. Depends on how dry you are. If you're super dry, you might not need to set with powder and you'll still get a lot of longevity from the makeup and it'll wear really beautifully throughout the day. If you're like me, a combination to an oilier skin, you're probably going to want to do a very light powdering and even a setting spray at the end. But even then, you're not going to see a lot of texture on my skin at the end, which is really nice. So that is it for the foundation. That's it for the base. Just stippled all over with a brush and then a little bit on my ring finger right in the inner corner and underneath my eye. I'm not a huge fan of under eye concealers for the most part. They add texture, they add weight. They always show up. The eye can detect them. They look heavy as you're moving and talking and eating and doing whatever throughout the day. Like your face is moving. It's like getting all just heavy looking. Again, something like this that is just a bunch of pigment with practically no weight. If you can dab this underneath your eye and take care of a little bit of darkness and have that be it, you're good. You're golden. Okay, so that is the face. So I used, again, the Era Everyday. This is the Aero Brush Foundation. The color I'm using is called Summer Wheat. I have a little bit of self-tanner all over my body. I know you can't really tell in the bathroom in this light. I know I look more pale in the bathroom when I'm filming here than what it really looks like. But I do have, again, a little bit of self-tanner, so that's why I'm using that particular color. So next is to add that sun-kissed glow to the skin. And the product that I'm using is from Temp2 Airbrush Cosmetics. This is their bronzer and contour in one, and it is an airbrush makeup that you can use in an airbrush or you can use it by hand with a brush, which is exactly what I'm going to do. So I did about 4 drops here on my palette, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the same exact brush that I was using to stipple on my foundation. And if you're curious, this is the Lawless foundation brush. I really love this one because not only is it super soft, but it bends when it touches my skin. So it's not a thick, dense brush that moves and tugs at the skin as you're buffing in the makeup. I have a video on that. I really don't like those types of brushes. I feel like they cause unnecessary tugging on the skin, which is what you don't want past a certain age. So we've got the bronzer on here, the light kind of dots. This is what I'm doing. I'm basically just going over my skin. It looks a little dark right now, but I'll buff it out where the sun would hit you. So when you're going for that kind of goldy, slightly pink sun-kissed look, you want to bring your bronzer in, like almost up under here, like what I'm doing, because this is what's giving you that look of like, I've been out in the sun today getting color. And oops, maybe I got a little bit too much because I'm a little bit pinky. Okay. So again, tops of the forehead, buff that in. I take it all up under here. Okay. I go underneath the chin and I take what's left on the palette and just go lightly all over the face so that I don't look bronze only on certain parts, because that's more of a contour look. When you're really concentrating on cutting a cheek here or doing something up here, that's like the contour look, where if the sun's going to hit your face, it's going to hit your face. You're going to be tan all over. So that's what I'm doing here. Okay. Because you're getting that ultra thin texture that doesn't show up on the skin, but it's a ton of pigment. So it is giving you the coverage and it is giving you the look that you want. So see how that's just all coming together? And what's nice is even though I'm buffing this on top of the foundation, it's not really moving the foundation. I still have the coverage and the product all over. So that is the foundation and that is the bronzer. Now let's move on to the Sun Flush. The product I have here is a cream blush Makeup by Mario. This color is called Raspberry. Now you don't need this particular product, obviously, but as you can see, it's fairly bright. So if you are in the market for a cream blush and you like this look that I'm doing, just get yourself something that's a little bit brighter than what you normally would use. And any color is fine. You do you. What I like to do is just pop the brush on top of that, buff some excess out. And then this is when you go on the top of your cheekbones, up under the eye again, like this. And you follow along what you did with the bronzer on the top of your forehead. You can even do a little bit on the nose because your nose can get a little pinky too if we get a little bit too much sun. Do you see how pretty that is? So we've got our foundation, we've got our bronzer, and we've got our pinky flush. Give this a little bit of that sunburnt look. So now what we're going to do is set the makeup for longevity, especially if you are a combination to an oilier skin type. This is going to be a step that you will definitely want to do. Even if you are not overly oily, if you are in a situation where you want your makeup to really last, you don't have to use a lot of powder, but you probably will want to use just a little bit to really lock in that makeup. I prefer loose powder to set my makeup initially just because I find it is a lot more lightweight and airy and undetectable on the skin. This is the the Revlon Color Stay Blot Powder. It's a matte powder, but it's talc-free and it's virtually undetectable on the skin. And I will take a velvety soft puff. This is the one I have from MAC that I love. I'm turning it to the clean side. And what you want to do is you just want to obviously press your puff into the powder. And I like to do this on the back of my hand to remove excess. And then you just want to press and roll. Take a little bit of what was left on the back of your hand and press and roll. You're not rubbing, you're pressing. Classic makeup artist technique, but I'm telling you, this is what you got to do for the makeup longevity. And then you can even twist your puff into a little taco. And I use my skincare all over my face, all down my neck. Sometimes I get a little tacky and juicy, so even that just takes that down and makes everything feel a little bit more comfortable. A powder blush at this point, and you want even a little bit more of that fleshy look, is the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Blush. This one's called Daring Rosewood. This one is a lot darker than I would normally use, but in the summertime when I'm trying to have fun with this kind of slight sunburnt look, this is the one that I'll reach for. So with this one, I dip very lightly, and then I just go on the top to remove excess, and then just stipple on the top of my cheekbones on my forehead, just to seal in that color that we did with the cream. And just pop it all over. Isn't that so pretty? Now for eyes, I like to keep it super, super simple. If you've got beautiful little falsy eyelashes like this, sometimes that's all you need. As long as your brows are groomed and beautiful, this can be totally fine. You don't even really need eyeshadow. If you really want to do some eyeshadow, what is a beautiful complement to this type of look is something that's like a glowy, bronzy, goldy, orangey color. This one is one of my favorites. This was from Marc Jacobs, his Big O eyeshadows. This one was called Omega. Unfortunately, these are discontinued now, which is really sad. But if you've got something similar to this, something that's like a soft, warm, taupey, bronzy brown, you're totally good to go. So actually, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a fluffy eyeshadow brush and just do a little swipe just on the brow bone here. Again, I just use less and less eyeshadow, especially as I get older. And now that my eyes are getting a little bit more hooded, I find that if I put anything on my lid, half the time it doesn't show up anyway. So what I like to do is find the part of my eye that you can see when my eyes are open, and that's like the top of my brow bone. And that's pretty much the only place I bother putting eyeshadow on these days. It's sad, but this is what we're working with. And sometimes you can even go a little higher than your brow bone and your eyes will look a little bit more awake. So that's really all I'm doing. If you wanted to give your eyes a little bit more of a pizzazz beyond just a basic little swipe on your brow bone, for fun, what I used was I took a little bit of a goldy, shimmery eyeshadow and I put that on my lid with a soft, pretty shimmery kind of goldy brown color to go with the whole color palette of this look. I just take a flat eyeshadow brush similar to this with that soft, goldy, shimmery eyeshadow, and I just go right on the lid. When I blink, you can see it. So yeah, just something super simple like that for the eyes. I'm not even going to bother with eyeliner today because my lashes are so fluffy and full. And now let's go for the last step, which is the glowy look. Highlighters are really popular. I personally don't like or use highlighters very often. I find that they call attention to the texture of my skin. They'll highlight a pore. They'll highlight like an orange peel skin. They'll highlight just things I don't want to highlight. But I do setting sprays. I like glowing setting sprays to seal everything in. And this one I found at the drugstore last month and I am loving it. It's this infallible 3-second setting mist. It says that it's 36 hours, defies transfer. And I was reading the back of this baby. This is hysterical. Listen to this. Our first setting spray that makes your makeup defy transfer. Locks in makeup, wears up to 36 hours, waterproof, sweat resistant, clothes resistant, smudge resistant, phone resistant. I was like, is this like loser resistant, like creepo resistant? Like I'd love to put this on, but anyway. So the only thing I don't like, you gotta shake it. The only thing I don't like is it pretty much smells like hairspray because that's what it is. So basically it's like hairspray for your face, but this stuff is really soft, pretty, and glowy, and it does make your makeup last. So let's spray it on. As you can see, that was a little bit more than 3 seconds, probably more like 6. The first ingredient is alcohol denat, and a lot of people would probably shudder in horror, but here's the thing. You've got nice skincare underneath your makeup, right? 2 layers of skincare for myself. You've got your foundation, you've got your powder, you've got things that are in between your skin and this. All this is doing is melding the makeup together and keeping it on. It's not penetrating your pores and drying yourself out and oh my gosh, no. Like this is actually a really pretty sealant. But what I love about it is look at that glowy effect that you get from this, but it's not greasy looking. And I just really think it's so pretty and it's not shimmer. I don't like highlighter shimmers. In real life, when you're putting highlighters on your face, it doesn't look real. The eye can detect it. If you're like me, you don't want that. I just don't want that. But this looks like I'm a little glistening, a little bit glowy, and it's not accentuating texture, and it's not looking weird and shimmery with glitter particles on my face. So this is a pretty bomb, you guys. Yeah. So that is the look. Oh, wait, duh. It's not the look because how about we end with a little bit of lips, right? So I've shown these before. These are from LA Girl. These are the Perfect Precision Lip Liners. This one is in, oh my gosh, I need my glasses. This is terrible. This one's blushing. One is Sugar and Spice. And this one is more of a brownie nude and it's called Bear. But look how beautiful these colors are. These pencils are ginormous and I think they're only about $3 each. Let's get going with this baby. And I got to get my old lady close-up mirror here because I cannot see anything. It's super sad. But what I like to do is I don't draw with the tip. I draw with the side of the pencil. And I overdraw just super slight on the bottom. Right? And then for the top, again, with the side of the pencil to make it soft. If you're past a certain age, don't line right up to the corner. Because as the day goes on, what ends up happening? We get that dreaded like buildup of lip product in the lines of our mouth, and it's not a good look. So stop just short of your inner corner of your lips. You don't need to line all the way. Now, the lipstick color I used for this look is from Lisa Eldridge, and it's a color called Velvet Muse. It is a really beautiful brownie brick rose color, and I'm just going to do it straight from the bullet. Again, you do not have to find or buy this particular color, but if you have something that's like a pretty soft, warm, rosy, brick colored nude, that's what you would be looking for here. And again, I don't take the lipstick and go all the way up to the corner either. These are beautiful colors. They are matte and they're soft, but they're not drying. So that is the look, you guys. Again, super easy. Emphasis on skin, emphasis on sheer glowy textures with the foundation, emphasis on hydrated, juicy skin underneath. If you're crazy dry, you may need more than just a makeup primer that's water-based like this and your SPF. You might need a product before this one to give your skin extra hydration. If you are a normal to combination oily like myself, and it's a super hot, crazy day like it is here in Texas, these two might just be enough. This would be your primer, and then you do your SPF topper. Some people always say, wait, wouldn't the primer go on top of the SPF because the SPF is the skincare? I'm just crazy, and so the last product I always put on, no matter what, before the makeup, I don't care, is the SPF because I'm just crazy paranoid that way. If you're crazy dry and your skin just likes to drink up all the skincare and drink up all the makeup, you might not need the powder. You know your skin. But again, if you can get a powder similar to this Revlon Blot Matte Powder, it's got such a lightweight, airy texture that it's not going to show and be detectable on the skin if you're not overusing it. And then what else? And then, yes, so then the Era Spray Foundation Primer, the Temp2 Liquid Bronzer. I had my really pretty cream Pop of Flush blush by Mario. That was the color Raspberry. The powder blush that I used on top of everything just to give it that kind of topper sunburnt look was the Infallible and Daring Rosewood, the blush. And then the last step was that 3-second setting mist. So that is the look. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to head out to my office and film the final part of the video for you. So here it is, guys, the finished look. What do you think? I absolutely love it. I think it is so pretty for summer, for over 40 skin, to give you a little bit of an extra glow. It's that wonderful combination in between kind of a bronze tan look that everyone tries to go for in the summer, but adding just that little bit of that extra pinky tone that looks like you were just a little bit too in the sun, a little too long, that slight flush of a little bit of a sunburn. But this is such a fun look to recreate. So yeah, if you love this look, I'm excited for you to recreate it for yourself. Let me know if you guys want to see more of these types of tutorials. I really like filming them for you. I know you guys love simple makeup, simple tutorials, especially when you're over 40. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what else you want to see in the comments down below. Share all the good stuff. I love you guys so much. Have a blessed week. I will see you very soon. Bye.